Hello everybody. Been collecting some parts here. So I recently picked up a brand new, or I should say unopened box, new old stock Heathkit SB-220 amplifier. And I've been picking up some parts to prep for the build. It's not going to be a museum restoration build. It's going to be a modernized, fully optimized with upgraded parts build for daily use. So just to give you a preliminary, I have to go pick up the amp. It's at a friend's house right now in Phoenix, so I'm going to go pick it up next week. But to give you an idea of some of the things I've been collecting, first we're going to get rid of that old gray power cord. And I have some SJ-12-3 super flexible, nice cord here. I'll put a 20 amp L7 twist lock 240 volt plug on it. I got a nice little strain relief. Let's go over here. Some nice rubber grommets in case I need any. For helping out with tightening down the cable assemblies, I have some black and some white 3M adhesive strips. For a couple different places, these might come in handy. I have these sitting around, these nice copper lugs, maybe for grounding the grids. These might be handy. Take one of these and make a nice little solder lug for grounding the grid. Speaking of grounding grid, I found some nice 1/4-inch copper strap from a lady out of New York that used it to decorate pottery. So I'll clean this up. This is some nice copper strap. It's hard to find 1/4-inch copper strap. And also a bunch of nylon clamps, again, for tying down the cables and wires inside the amplifier. So it's going to be built not Heathkit 1970s grade, but modern commercial grade. Some new 30 kilovolt high voltage line, silicon high voltage line. We got some Harbach boards. This is going to be interesting. So this over here is one of the Harbach. You can see Harbach filter cap boards. This is using Kemet 450 volt, 330 microfarad capacitors. The modern electrolytics have gotten a lot smaller than the old electrolytics, so they don't take up nearly as much space. But I'm going to do a couple things to the amplifier where these I don't feel are going to be sufficient. So I picked up another board. This one is by Electronic Specialties. It's the same board, exactly the same board as the Harbach. So I don't know who's making them and who's they're exactly the same design. But I was able to get this board by itself without any of the parts on here and without the capacitors because I use these really nice Kemet. These are 550 volt, 470 microfarad caps. So this is going to give me 4,400 volts working voltage of for the plate voltage versus 3,600 volts. The reason that's important is because I'm going to use a Peter Dahl transformer for the plate transformer, which should give me about 3,500 volts. So I want the extra voltage. Then I have new Harbach metering board, which I put together. So new modern diode string, 1 in 5407s, and then bias versus we'll use the bias string here on diodes versus the Zener, and then a soft keyboard, or a soft key, which I put together. And as you can tell, I like putting things together nicely. So that's what I got for those parts. Then we're going to change out the incandescent LEDs for these incandescent bulbs for these LED bulbs. Because they give a nice brightness, they're a nice color temp, warm color temp, and they will never heat up and melt the meters, the back of the meters. We have some new heavy duty parasitic suppressors we're going to use. A little 10 ohm glitch resistor we'll put in there. Then change out from the beginning, right here from the beginning, silver plated Teflon, gold plated center conductor SO239s. Change out the DC bias and relay capacitor with this new modern electrolytic. All the wire I'm going to do, this is all Teflon wire. So all the wiring inside, keep the original colors, but it's all going to be Teflon wire. And this is for the mains. This is 12 gauge Teflon wire for the AC mains. For coax in and out, we're going to use, this is RG142. This is for the output. This is RG303. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use RG303 for the input, between the input and the tuned input circuit, and from the tuned input circuit over to the relay back to the cathode. I might use some RG316. I haven't decided yet. So we're gonna start up. I mean, just because I'm OCD, we're gonna use a Peter filament transformer as well. This has already come in. The plate transformer will be here probably tomorrow or the next day. But it's nice to use all nice Teflon wire, and it's a nice transformer. So over here, I have a black front panel, nice powder coated front panel with silk screen. So the front panel will be black, and I'm probably going to paint the case black as well. More parts. A new fan blade. I got this because it was $8. But I'm going to change out the fan blower for the exact same blower, except this is a 230 volt version. It blows a little bit more air. It's about 30% more air. But I'm going to probably build it. I'm considering using a thermostatic switch, like one of these switches here, where it will bypass a voltage drop resistor and make it 2-speed. So in the low speed mode, it'll be at the same speed as stock. And if the amplifier gets warm, let's say key down, then thermostatic switch will bypass and short out the voltage drop resistor, and it'll go to high speed. So considering that, haven't decided yet. I got more parts. So I got a step start board. This is the universal step start board. And I wanted the universal step start board versus the SB-220 specific step start board because this takes 240 volts in, 240 volts out through the relays. And this goes to your ground or your neutral line. So this basically creates its own internal power supply rectifier through the relay coils, through this 2.2K resistor, charges these capacitors, and it creates an RC time delay to engage these relays, which then bypasses the resistors. So then it goes straight through versus through the resistors. I didn't want to use the SB-220 specific board because I didn't want to have to rely on the SB-220's external biasing circuit and modify that much with a full wave bridge rectifier and rely on that for it to engage these relays and bypass. I just want it all contained on this board. Plus, the traces are heavier. I think I have one over here. Let me see here. Here we go. So this is the SB-220 specific soft start board. You notice the traces? Look at this. Okay, so between the relay and the solder lug, look at the size of that trace versus the universal, much heavier. Okay, again, I already sent this disclaimer, OCD. So that's not acceptable to me. That's better. So we're gonna use this guy. I actually found this built unused on eBay, and I had to take the whole thing apart because they pulled all the wires through and they folded the wires over onto the board and soldered it, and it was awful. It looked terrible. Plus, they didn't clean the board up from the rosin and everything. So I took the whole thing apart and rebuilt it because I want it to look professional. So I'm going to change the relay or the circuit breakers out. These are 12 amp circuit breakers. I'm gonna have a heavier duty transformer and some componentry in there, and the stock 10 amp circuit breakers I didn't think were quite up to par, so I got these 12 amp guys, which I put together a little test bench over there and ran them, and they work quite well. And here we go, this is neat. So we're gonna use a different keying circuit. This is a CTR Engineering W8JE. W8JE? W2? Yeah, W8JE. Oh, what is this called? Designed a lot of the Ameritron amplifiers. CTR Engineering. This is a sequenced relay. So it sequences your connection of the output of the amplifier to your tank circuit, and then the input of your drive to the tuned input, and also the bias. So it synchronizes, it stages those connections to where you're less likely to have any hot switching and create any arcing, or parasitics and create arcing across your plate cap, your tune cap. So this is a better, plus these relays on this board tend to give a little more consistent, a little bit less of an impedance hit, a little easier to maintain a good pass through VSWR. So we're going to use this guy. What other parts I got here? I think that's it for now for parts that I have waiting for the amplifier. But I've been collecting parts. So I'll have the new Harbach plate transformer coming. Oh, for the Harbach plate transformer, we have to trim a little bit of the inner shield around the top of the transformer, so have this nice edge protection material that will go around when you trim the inner perforated shield, so it'll go around it and make it look nice. So it's going to be all Teflon wiring. It's going to be extra heavy duty components. It's going to be optimized. I'm going to go through and with a VNA and optimize the inputs and the outputs, and it's going to be all wired and loomed with Teflon wire, and hopefully it comes out. No, it will. Hopefully, it's going to come out wonderful. It's going to come out really nice, and it's going to go here. Move these books, and this is part of my vent where the so right here the tubes 3500s will exit here, and that's kind of a heat stack. I might put a small fan back there to help pull some of the heat out as well, and that will go into the station. I used to have an OM 4001A there, but I sold it to, well, help buy a Corvette that's sitting in the garage. So I thought it was symbolic to put the Lego Corvette back where the amplifier used to was, to help buy the Corvette. Anyways, that's the update on the preliminary update, preliminary build information. So I'll be updating videos and photos along the way as I build the amplifier. So it's new in the box. Got a lot to learn on building. I've worked on many, but I've never got to build one from scratch. So this will be a lot of fun. All right, stay tuned.